Hey guys, welcome to Solving Rational Equations, where sometimes you have to factor first. So just like simplifying a rational expression, or when we're multiplying, dividing, or adding or subtracting rational expressions, when you are solving a rational equation, you always have to factor first. So I'm going to look at every single numerator and denominator and determine if any of them need to be factored. So as I'm doing that, I see the denominator right here can be factored. So first step factoring, always look and see if there's a greatest common factor. So looking between x squared, 8x, and 15, the greatest common factor is 1, which tells me I can't factor out anything else. Next, I have a trinomial. So since I have a trinomial, I can identify what my values are for a, b, and c. So a is 1, b is 8, and c is 15. Since a is 1, I'm just going to use the shortcut. So I know this is going to factor out to be the quantity of x plus 3 times the quantity of x plus 5. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to solve this rational equation. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to, just like we did before, we're going to multiply each fraction that we see by the least common denominator. So the trick is, when you're finding the least common denominator, when you have variables, you're going to multiply by every denominator. So I see x plus 5, I see x plus 3, and in this denominator, I see both x plus 3 and x plus 5. So that tells me my least common denominator is the quantity of x plus 3 times the quantity of x plus 5. And I'm going to multiply every single fraction by the least common denominator. And what I'm going to do when I do this is I'm going to eliminate every single denominator that I see. Getting a little funky today. So when I do that, any denominators, or some of these denominators will start to cancel. So I see here x plus 5 and x plus 5 will cancel. Here both the x plus 3s and the x plus 5s will cancel. And over here the x plus 3s will cancel. I'm going to bring down everything I have left. So from the first fraction, I'm left with the quantity of x plus 1, and I have x plus 3, the quantity of x plus 3, which is multiplying, plus 18 times the no other quantities because it was all canceled out, is equal to 9 times the quantity of x plus 5. Okay, next step. I'm going to start multiplying, distributing, and combining like terms. If you need to pause at this time to catch up, please do so. So I'm going to distribute, which will give me x squared plus 3x plus x plus 3 plus 18 equals 9x plus 45. Then I'm going to combine the like terms. So I have like terms, 3x and x, and I also have positive 3 and positive 18. Do not forget about this 18. A lot of times we drop it. Don't ever drop it. So that's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 21 equals 9x plus 45. Okay. At this time, I want you guys to pause and make sure you have everything copied down because I'm going to erase so I have more room. So please pause at this time. Okay, rewrite up top. Okay, so resume. Now, after we eliminated the denominators, we combined and simplified, we have our equation. I see a quadratic on one side and I see linear on the other. If you ever see a quadratic, that tells you you're going to be solving a quadratic equation. And that means you need to move everything to the same side as you have x squared. Just like we did last year in Algebra 1. Now, if it's linear, you can just solve for x. But we're going to solve for x, but we're going to be using a quadratic. So I'm going to subtract 9x from both sides, because when I'm solving a quadratic, I want the whole equation to be equal to 0. I'm also going to subtract 45 from both sides. So now I have 0 on the right. X squared comes down. 4x minus 9x is going to be negative 5x. 21 minus 45 is going to be negative 24. So now I have x squared minus 5x minus 24 equals 0. I have a quadratic equal to 0. Now I'm going to solve. When solving that quadratic, there's 3 ways we can do it. We can factor, we can complete the square, or we can use the quadratic formula. We're going to factor because this equation is factorable. So I know a is 1, b is negative 5, and c equals negative 24. So I have a times c, which is negative 24. I'm looking for my pair that adds up to be negative 5. So 1, negative 24, 2, negative 6, 3, negative 8, 4, negative 6. Boom, I got my pair. 3 minus 8 is 5. So I have x squared plus 3x minus 8. Actually, we're going to use a shortcut. So a is 1, so we're going to use a shortcut. So I have x plus 3 minus 8. Now, I have 2 factors set equal to 0. So now I'm going to use the zero product property. To finish solving the equation. So I'm going to say that x plus 3 is equal to 0, and that x minus 8 is equal to 0. Now I solve. X is negative 3, and I solve. X is 8. Now, we got 2 answers. We are not done. We need to check our work because one of these solutions can be extraneous. So I'm going to erase again. So please press pause, and then we're going to continue. Okay, let's play. So we have negative 3 and 8. What we need to do is we need to check our work against our original expression. So I have x plus 1 over x plus 5 plus 18 over x plus 3 times x plus 5 equals 9 over x plus 3. Let's start off by checking x equals negative 3. So we're going to check x equals negative 3. So that's going to be negative 3 plus 1 over negative 3 plus 5 plus 18 over negative 3 plus 3 times negative 3 plus 5 equals 9 over negative 3 plus 3. So let's do our next step and simplify. This is going to be negative 2 over negative 2, over positive 2, sorry, plus 18 over 0 times 2 equals 9 over 0. I got a 0 in the denominator. This here is undefined. So that automatically tells you that x equals negative 3 is extraneous. extraneous. So when you see the word extraneous, I want you to think about extra. It's an extra solution. So this solution, x equals -3, is extraneous because it cannot solve our rational equation because it makes the denominator undefined. There will be some extraneous solutions that will not make the denominator undefined, but when you check your work, both sides will not be equal. So you should always check both of your answers. So now I'm going to check 8. So that's going to give me 8 plus 1 over 8 plus 5 plus 18 over 8 plus 3 times 8 plus 5 equals 9 over 8 plus 3. That's going to be 9 over 13 plus 8. See, we got 24. I'm sorry, not 24. We got 11 times 13 equals 9 over 13. 11. So now, I'm going to once again check my work. So I'm going to multiply. I'm going to add the two fractions together. So I'm going to multiply. Actually, least common denominator. Multiply each by 11 and 13. Multiply each by 11 and 13. 13's cancel. Both cancel. 11 cancels. So I have 99 plus 8 is equal to the quantity of 9 times 13. Make sure that you always check your work. Thank you, guys.